Good morning, everybody. Just waiting for a number of you to drop in. We've got just over 100 people registered for this morning, so just kind of waiting for a number of those to arrive with me. Welcome, I'm Aaron Wiltshire. I'm Head of Event Strategy here at ETOA. We like to run these pre-event webinars just ahead of our events, just so everybody's well equipped and up to date with what our plans are. Of course, this year we've got a slightly different format to what we're doing for City Fair. There are a number of new faces as well, so kind of in combination, I just want to take half an hour or so to take you through what our plans are. If you have any questions in the webinar, please use the function provided on the platform. I can hopefully get to those questions throughout or at the end, and if I don't get a chance to do so, I will catch up with those at the end. Naturally, the bin men are just arriving, so just be a bit noisy otherwise. Okay, so we've got a good number of people here, so I will now go through everything. So we've picked a day for the webinar purely because tomorrow we'll be launching the appointment system. For those of you who are familiar with the ETOA events, tomorrow you'll receive an email inviting you to log into Celestina, which is our appointment matching system. On that platform, you will be asked to select and rank your counterparts, those with whom you'd like to meet during the event itself. You'll have then until next Friday, the 3rd of July, to submit those. So that's really the most important thing in the short term that we need you to do. And then once that's done, we'll start with the matching. But I guess what everybody's interested in is exactly what's going to happen after that. So you may have visited the City Fair page, which provides an overview of what we're going to be doing at this event. You also may have been speaking to my colleagues, either Karen or Magdalena, hopefully answering any questions that you have. This year will be an online event, so I'm guessing none of you will have booked your flights or accommodation for London. That's not going to happen. So what we wanted more than anything is to replicate exactly what you will come to our events for. It's about the meetings, and I think as closely as possible we've tried to replicate that for everyone's convenience and indeed for the productivity in terms of setting the foundations for business for the end of this year and into next year and beyond. On the website there are a number of FAQs, so if you want to catch up with any of those questions that maybe I don't cover, these are available here. But as an overview, the format of the day follows pretty much exactly how you'd think we would if we were in a hotel property. This time around, we have to pay attention particularly to the various time zones that people will be logging on. So we have targeted specifically Europe, the UK, but we'll also be able to open up, thanks to the platform, people dialing in from China and from the US. So as you can see here, there are different blocks of time. We've got a nice set of new buyers who will have never have considered coming to City Fair before. Now they have access to it, and hopefully that will make for a really productive event that reaches not only your existing contacts or those Europe-based operators, but those who are dialing in from further afield as well. So this is how the day will run. We've been particularly conscious of adding more breaks in because you'll be on a call, and we're all very much used to doing lots of video calls nowadays. However, we're anticipating a whole day of this, so we were conscious of making sure that there are adequate breaks throughout the day, including a lunch break. So I'm not responsible this time around for ensuring that the lunch runs smoothly. That's all up to you. The breaks will be allotted and automatic on the platform. So that will become clear when we go out with the provisional appointments as well. We'll be really trying to make it very clear as possible exactly what time you should be logging in for that event. When you do so, you'll be then asked to log on to our new video platform. So we don't have one live just now, but it's basically just this. And you will then be asked to log in with your confirmation number, and it is so simple. We've tried to make it as foolproof as possible. once you've logged in, you don't have to do anything manually. The appointments will be matched automatically. So you'll be sat there and your computer will automatically link you to your next scheduled appointment. So it's run off the back of the appointment management system, Celestina, and will be driven thus. So you won't have to worry about logging in or checking into specific meetings. It will just run you through the events. One thing that I will stress more than anything for this, and that you can probably see me double, I think, is to test your compatibility beforehand. So I will just send a handout, and that should pop up with you. That should be coming out to everybody. I would like you all to test this link if you can. We'll also, of course, be sending this out beforehand as well. I will put that in the chat to everybody, so you can also check it after the event. This event, that is. That will test just your settings and security to allow you to access the platform to test it. If you have any questions, do let us know. Obviously, we want you to be all set up in advance beforehand. On the day itself, if there are any queries, we'll have a live chat and support, as you can see here. That will be a live chat with a member of me or one of the team. We'll be able to walk you through everything, and that will help you out. So very much live. Please ask if you have any questions about that. We've got the tech specs also available on the website, the FAQ page that I showed you there. We'll be adding this link to there afterwards. On here, you can do a test of your system as well. So that will just allow you to kind of test in advance so that you can get that all ready and be full of confidence before the event itself. As I said, once you log in, then you'll be taken through the system. So, as I said, do ask any questions now or send us an email later if you want to clarify any of those things. As I said, we've developed this to make sure that it's foolproof as possible. It will be plain sailing if we're lucky. But we've put a lot of effort into making sure that, as I said, this replicates our format as much as possible. Because that's what you've all been coming back to for our events in the past. So just very much live, I've been sent a test for the submission of appointment choices. So this will be what you are sent tomorrow. And we really ask you to make as many selections as possible. So to reiterate how our appointment system works, it's based on both the preferences of the suppliers and the buyers. So it's based on both sides of preferences. So the success of the event really depends on having the best, having the most selections possible. So that's what we're going to be asking you to do from tomorrow. So you'll be sent a login to this platform here, upon which you log in, and there are lots of instructions here which I ask you to look at carefully, and a number of filters. I'm not sure whose I've been logged into, but I promise I'll leave it blank. On here, you can use all of these filters to really whittle down the type of operators, this is from a supplier's perspective, that you're looking to meet, or you can just use the list. On here, you can see the description, the information about all the different operators here, and when you're ready to do so, you can add them across to this side. So you can see for this event, when we have 33 appointment meetings, you can get 15 choices, and that'll be 15 choices for the suppliers and 15 choices for the operators as well. So what we do is ask you to look at all these lists, find out the people who you really want to meet, add them to the list, and most importantly, then rank them from your top choice to your bottom choice within those 15, and then you need to submit. You can do so as many times as you like between now and next Friday. You can log in, just check in case there are any more. We're closing registrations this week, but we may be adding a few last minute people into there. As you may have seen, as I said, we've got people dialing in from the US, China, and dotted here and there some people from other markets as well. So that's a really exciting opportunity for this event, which we were unexpected for this year's City Fair, but it's good that we can take advantage of the situation. So yeah, if you could go in here, add and select. I'm not going to add these now because I think that once one is in, you can't clear the whole list. So make sure that you really familiarize yourselves with the filters, the categories, and all of the different options here. Add them and rank them, and remember that your counterparts are doing the same. So that's when we close on the 3rd, they are all taken into account, and then the matching starts. You'll be then be given provisional meeting plans that allow you to prepare for the day, and then on the day itself we won't be printing them off, of course, but then you will have them ready on your platform. So they'll be there, sat there ready for you, and it will drive it. So there'll be no walking around the room either. It will drive you through the day. So if you have any questions on the appointment system, do shout now and I'll try and answer them. So I've got a few questions. I think some of you have, there's been a bit of a blip on the connection, so I hope you can still hear me now. As I said, this will be sent out tomorrow, and then you'll have until Friday the 3rd. Quite a short turnaround in terms of the appointment slots, but we're available and we'll have a team on the line ready to answer any questions. You can see also the attendees here, but you'll see the best list tomorrow when they're all live in the system. So, I mean, that's a very quick tour of the event. As I said, please let me know if you have any questions. If not, I hope that was quite a quick, useful introduction. I'll stress again the test link we will send around tomorrow as well. Please have a go at that and let us know if you've got any issues, and we can try and sort out the information. But apart from that, that's it from me. I'll wait a few more moments in case there's anything coming up. I know there's been a few issues on the sound. It may be my internet connection, but there's nothing actively I can do about that now, unless you want to submit on the chat. I will leave Alicia's appointments as they are for now. As I said, on the day itself, there'll be a live chat and support where we'll be live throughout the day. We're also going to be running a broadcast throughout the whole event. So whenever you don't have a match or when there's a break, there'll be a central channel where we'll be broadcasting interesting interviews, promotions from various partner event partners. Yeah, some interesting stuff. So don't dismay. I mean, you won't be bound to your desk. You can go and get a coffee in the breaks, but there'll be also some super interesting material on there as well. No questions. Thank you, Carolyn, for the boost to the appointment system. Yeah, we really do try hard to make sure that it's as easy as possible to use. Just a quick question here from Alberto about the capacity of the platform. You can offer screen sharing and a chat which lasts only for the duration of the meeting itself. So you can use the chat function only very specifically on the 10-minute appointment that you have. Once it's gone, that call is over and the links will disappear. So you can chat, but also once your appointment's gone, on the left-hand side, the email address contact, there'll be a link there to send any follow-up immediately to the person you just met with. So that's invisible up until the point you meet with them, and then it will come visible once they're done. So go on the test portal and just check. There is an opportunity there to share screen and also to use the chat function there. But we're not doing any virtual backgrounds or anything like that, really just to preserve everyone's bandwidth, for everyone's kind of security security's sake. Duration of the meetings is 10 minutes. We brought that down from our usual 12, purely because we usually give a 2-minute warning, and movement within the room is kind of built into that. This time around there'll be 10 minutes only because we don't need to do that. So practice getting through the meetings, your pitch. Remember that the point of these events is always kind of the initial meetup, and the business really comes in the follow-up. So I'm sure you'll get to the point quick. This is our first run on this, but we're very confident this is going to be a real value. We'll also make it very obvious on the platform. There's a countdown. The clock starts flashing at 1 minute, and then there's a bleep in the last few seconds, because it's during our tests it was quite apparent that it's quite easy, even though you're expecting it, that the end of the appointment does come around quicker than you think. But we've made visual and audio prompts to make it very clear that the meeting is coming to an end. Yes, it will be a video call, video and audio, and as I said, there's a chat function there to quickly share links, but you need to make sure that any information in that has been copied out by the end of the meeting, because the session is then destroyed, and you get connected to your next meeting. So think of what you'd like. We're not doing, as I said, any virtual backgrounds, but if you want a nice setup, you might want to put a pop-up or something. But as I said, it's all about the meetings themselves. We're doing an online directory. We won't be printing one, obviously, because there'll be nowhere to pick them up. So you'll be receiving the full contact list, and then, as I said, with those who you're matched, you'll have access to them directly in the platform, not only for your calls in the moment, but you can access the webinar, the email link as soon as the meeting is finished. If you have your follow-up template ready, then you can send that directly over. You can, Inga asks about getting the email addresses. So we've been quite careful about this now, purely because of some data issues that we've been having, and some phishing scams. I think that's under control now. You'll have access to the email address of the person you're meeting with, and there'll be details of everybody in the directory. So you'll have that piece of information in the directory. So I've had plenty of questions. Hopefully I've covered that, but this is, I'll just leave it until 20 past in case there's anything else emerging. As I said, the thing I can stress most today is to test that link that I've sent in the chat, and let us know if you've got any issues or any questions about how that's going to work on the day itself. We're very excited about the new and returning buyers coming to this event, and also some brand new destinations as well, and some brand new suppliers. So it's an interesting year that we've managed to turn around. Despite everything, we're really excited about this opportunity. The directory will just be a PDF version of what we're usually, I mean, it'll be adapted slightly because it was only delivered online, but the directory will just be a listing with the company details, the description, and the contact details as well. The appointment matching system opens tomorrow and is open until next Friday. So yes, as I said, it would be great if you could go in and make as many selections as possible from tomorrow, but then I would probably suggest you log in as well some point next week just to check if anybody new has come in, and you can update the list. So as many as possible. If anybody doesn't, you'll be receiving a call at some point next week to chase. There are more breaks, but there's no pause between event meetings. So unless your schedule permits it, we will be straight on to each call to kind of maximize the exposure as much as possible. Of course, don't panic if there's a slight lag. sometimes there's a few seconds when the call connects, so don't panic. But as I said, there'll be always we'll be on the end of the line on the live chat to catch up any questions. How do we get to the next appointment? Well, you don't have to. You will be, the day just runs through once you've started the day, as it does when you're in the room at a live event. The clock just clicks through. So if you don't have a meeting, it reverts back to the core channel where we'll be broadcasting, as I said, but you don't have to do anything. It just clicks through. You can end an appointment early if you've had made your instructions and there's nothing more to say. But if not, and if you have done that, it will just dial the next person. It's completely driven by the clock. So there's no action required to get between appointments. Once you log in the morning, let's go from there. The appointment system is open until the 3rd of July. So you have 10 days from tomorrow. So it's open tomorrow and then until next Friday, where you can select and rank your counterparts. In terms of free appointments, we have a lot more breaks than before, not necessarily free just because there's no serendipitous way of making connections on this particular platform just yet. We wanted to start with the basics and then move on from there. Steve, I see your question about the drinks reception. That's a work in progress. We've been talking to various different sponsors about how to replicate. I'm sure many of you have done that over the period of lockdown in terms of various different versions of online social events. So watch this space. There may well be a virtual drinks reception. That's a word that I've been avoiding throughout, because this is not a virtual event, it's simply an online event. Whether or not you have a drink in hand come 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock, depending on when you're logging in, I'm only taking a responsibility for the virtual element. How stocked your bar is up to you. Will we receive the link and instructions to subscribe to it? Yes, the appointment system, I think, is just being uploaded. It was uploaded just before I went online this morning. We'll just be tweaking a few pieces of information, and you will receive all the information tomorrow about submitting your requests. And then once that's done, we'll be sending out very specific requests about where to go and at what time to join for the day itself. And I think that's it from the questions. So thank you all for joining. As I said, if you have any questions, you'll have Magdalena and Karen's contact details. We look forward to see you there. It's going to be an interesting one, but I'm very excited about what this development means for ETOA and our events in the future. Okay, thanks very much. Speak to you soon.